guys, Derek here, and today we'll be talking about Gemina, the second book in the Illuminate files by Amie Kaufman and Kristoff. I gave this book 100%. This book is sci-fi, and if you've seen my channel, you know I'm not much into sci-fi, like outer space kind of book. So for me to give a sci-fi book 100%, that's monumental. Gemina is the second book in the Illuminate Files series. What the first book is about, this mega corporation bomb a small planet called Karenza. We follow Katie and Ezra, and just as Karenza is being bombed, Katie breaks up with Ezra. And so it's just this funny, cute story that I absolutely adored, especially the audiobook. If you are planning on reading the series, please do so with the audiobooks as well. They are full cast with sound effects. It's just the best thing ever. Another thing is the story is told in type of like a dossier type of format. We have case files, we have surveillance videos. It also has chat sessions. So it's written in a really cool and interesting way, and that's what really grasped my attention about this book. Now in Gemina, we follow two new characters, Hannah and Nick. So there's not much I can say about this without being too spoilery. Go and read the book. It's absolutely amazing. Like I said, go via audiobook as well if you want to. I did it both. I would have the audiobook while having Gemina open. It's a really cool experience to read this book while listening to it as well. So if you haven't read the book, this is the end of your non-spoilery session. So bye-bye non-spoilery people. So our two main characters now are Hannah and Nick, and we also have Jackson, who's actually Hannah's boyfriend at the beginning of the book. I absolutely adore Hannah. I think I liked Hannah more than I did Katie. I mean, they're both strong female characters. Individually, they have both gone through so much. Whenever something bad happens to them, they suck it in, and it gives them motivation to continue to fight. There are some books where a whole bunch of stuff happens to the main character, and the main character is like, oh, what's the reason? Why should I fight if it's all gonna go to hell? I think I also liked Hannah more because that girl's a ninja. She has been trained in all types of martial arts, and all the quality time that she had with her father, instead of playing games, watching TV, or doing other normal father-daughter stuff, her father and her would read strategy books on how people won wars, and I think that gave Hannah the advantage of trying to figure out what the enemy was gonna do and fight against them. Nick is the total bad boy in this book. He went to juvie when he was little. We come to find out that it wasn't because he killed anybody. His dad killed someone outside a restaurant. The owner of the restaurant called the police. He didn't back down. He was gonna be a witness at his father's trial. And then one day when Nick goes with his little brother to visit his dad at jail, his father gives him the address of the witness. Nick, knowing that his life was gonna be so much better without his father, he decides not to do anything, but his little brother does end up going, kills the witness and his daughter. Nick takes the blame. Then we have Jackson, who's Hannah's boyfriend, who turned out to be a biotech undercover spy. From the very beginning, I never trusted Jackson. I don't know what it was with him. Maybe it was because of his voice as well, because I was listening to the audiobook. I think I said it on Twitter or on Goodreads when I did an update that Steve's voice felt way too mature to be in this audiobook. I don't want to sound like I'm saying he was too old, because really, Steve West is one of my favorite narrators. I freaking love that man's voice. That man has a sexy voice. So whenever a book is narrated by him, give it to me. Some of my favorite scenes, or I should say some of my favorite parts of this book, were the chats. And one of my favorite chats that they were actually having is when Ella kept changing Nick's screen name. So it's on page 234, and Ella first changes it to Little Nick is driving the bus. He's like, Jesus Christ, Ella, can you please change my name? This is serious. And then she changes it to Mr. Serious, and he doesn't say anything about it when he figures out she changes it again to Sir Lancelot. God damn it, change my name back! And then she changes it to Mr. Shouty Pants. Now, another thing that I absolutely adored about this book is the artwork. Marie Lu, she is the author of 2 trilogies, and I think she's also the author of Warcross. The artwork that she does is for Hannah's journal. Hannah carries this journal with her at all times. Leanne works for Baytech. Not only does she want to get rid of all the witnesses who survived the Karenza bombing, she now wants to destroy the Hypatia, who not only has Karenza survivors, but also has survivors, I believe, from the Alexander. Hypatia was now en route to Heimdall. She wanted to not only kill everyone at Hypatia, but she wanted to destroy Heimdall as well. I feel like they named the spaceship Heimdall after Heimdall from Thor. After the attack, Nick and Hannah were in constant communication, trying to keep each other safe and sane, and trying to figure out where the other one was at. So you could really tell like the tension was building, and I was just waiting for that reunion. And when they finally reunited, it had to be ruined by those creepy snake worm like alien things. I had no reason to suspect anything. When they did have that super nice reunion, Nick takes out the corsage and Hannah's like, I thought you lost it. Which, let me just tell you, now that I'm thinking about it, it reminds me of that one Britney Spears song about the whole Titanic. I thought the old lady dropped it into the ocean in the end. Well, baby, I went down and got it for you. Oh, you shouldn't have. I think he had lost it when he was attacked in the bathroom. And then when we got to the part when Nick died, I was so pissed when that happened. No, this could not have happened. They just got together. They just met. They had the sweetest reunion. They had that amazing kiss. Why would you kill Nick? And I appreciate what Nick did. He wanted to go back and get that journal because it was the only thing that Hannah had from her dad. And I get it. He was trying to be sentimental. He was trying to be sweet. But dude, you got shot. And I was so pissed off at Nick when he went back to get it. It was the most horrible scenes. I even screamed out loud. But after Nick gets shot, that's when we have this cool ninja action scene with Callie and Hannah. And my god, I was all for that scene. I was at the edge of my seat and I was listening to it and I could visualize exactly what Hannah and Callie, their moves. And just when I thought Callie had the upper hand and Hannah was gonna black out any minute now, Hannah grabs the powder drug from her journal and she just throws it into Callie's face, and then Callie's already starting to have the effects of the drugs. You know, I feel like Hannah planned that. She planned that perfectly, and that's what makes her scary. She takes her time with everything because she has that mindset where she's always thinking ahead from her opponent, and it just makes her that much cool of a ninja. You might get only one shot, so shoot. You know who said that? The rifle clatters to the bloody floor. Hannah Donnelly. That's who. When we get to the scene where Hannah has finally made communication with a Hypatia, I was at the edge of my seat because when she's telling them what happens, like, oh my gosh, Nick, he's dead. They shot him in front of me. And then Hypatia's like, are you sure Nick is dead? Hannah's like, yes, I just saw him get shot 3 times in front of me. He died in my arms, bleeding out. Of course I know he's dead. Hypatia's like, oh, because we have another transmission that's saying you're dead, and it's from Nick. The first plausible explanation that went through my head is that maybe Cerberus or Jack got Nick's pad and were pretending to be him. Wait, no. Nick had his pad on him, so that can't be it. So how is it that Nick is calling Hypatia, saying that Hannah is dead, and Hannah is saying that Nick is dead? It's like, what is going on? I'm so confused right now. And this is why I gave it the 100%, because I never, in a million years, would have seen this coming. And then we get this whole Doctor Who version where Nick is in one dimension, and Hannah's in another dimension, and they're both communicating with the same Hypatia. And that's why Hypatia was so confused. I was shook, guys. After that whole thing, we actually jumped to the Hypatia, and we're watching Ezra, Katie, and Sierra, and they're trying to figure out how they can be having these 2 communications from these 2 people who are saying that the other is dead. We see the conversation. No matter what Hannah or Nick said, Katie's response is the same, and Sierra says it. You'll notice Katie's responses are exactly the same and fit the conversation in both paradigms. No matter how Hannah or Nicholas responded, the conversations kept moving back to the same point from Katie's point of view. Our universe wants to deny this paradox. So what that basically meant is that Katie couldn't respond a different way because Katie was still in her universe, and whatever she said had to be the same no matter what. And I absolutely loved that, and that is why I gave this book 100%. I was a little scared when they decided to bring Aiden into the mix. I mean, my god, do you not understand what could happen if anything went wrong? Like, come on, guys, think a little. And I understand why Sierra was a little hesitant to go along with it, but I think Katie believed Aiden was a little bit fixed now, and so when Aiden was in the mix helping them, I was just waiting for Aiden to backstab them and kill them all, but Aiden behaved well. The next couple of chapters are kind of like this, where Hannah is in the black dimension and Nick is in the white dimension, so Aiden is kind of having that same paradigm where he has to say the exact same thing to both of them. them. And it goes up until Nick comes into his own dimension. And a little thing that I also liked is I love how they actually came up with the lollipop song. If you heard the audiobook, you know what the lollipop song is. This stupid, annoying lollipop song. Yes, I'm all for that. So then we go back to the trial and they have an email that he sent to Leanne that he went into the room and he saw Ella trying to stop the wormhole. So Jax shot her and so Ella's dead. I was like, this cannot be happening. And when Nick and Hannah go into the room and they see what Jax did, Nick charges Jackson and then Jackson shoots Nick. And I'm like, oh my god. He came back from another dimension just to die again. And then Hannah's talking to Jackson and then Jackson's telling her, it's like, I can't believe you chose him over me and I will never forgive you. And he shoots Hannah as well. I'm like, oh my god, they're all dead. So this is how it ends. Everybody's dead. Okay, we went through all of that just so they could all die. And then we go back to the trial where Leanne is at. And then Hannah's like, surprise! I'm alive! What? We go to what really happened. Jackson sacrificed himself to right all the wrongs that he did. One person had to stay behind to be able to close off that wormhole. Ella had to tell Jackson what to do, so Nick, Hannah, and Ella, they all survived and they went. I think this book kind of felt like all the people you thought that had died didn't really die. We thought Nick had died, but our Nick was in the other dimension. And then Ella dies in the other dimension, but she's alive in our dimension. And we thought she had died when one of the snake worm alien things attacked her at her computer. So we thought she was dead there too. How many times does a person have to die for them to be reborn again? And then we go to the end and they're telling Hannah, you know, faking your death is a capital offense. You could go to jail. Oh yeah, I know the risks, but we had to do it. Otherwise, Leanne would do anything in her power to kill us and we wouldn't be able to have gathered all this information on Vitek and her. And then we have this quote by Hannah where she's like, we were just getting started. You want to know how it ends? And that's where it ends. There's nothing else left. So I feel so bad for people who had to read this book before Obsidio came out and they were left on that cliffhanger because I couldn't have survived it. I feel like this is the first sci-fi novel series where I do not want it to end. I have plans to read Obsidio in August. I want to savor Gemina a few moments more. That is all I have for you guys today. Let me know down in the comments below which part was your favorite and who do you like more, Katie or Hannah? Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe if you want to see more of my face, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!